everyone, to Legal Briefs on CP24 and simulcast across the country on Court TV Canada. We are having a spirited debate tonight, I guess that's the way to put it, about medical marijuana in light of a raid at a downtown Toronto hangout where some medical marijuana users go and other just marijuana users are there. I'm here with lawyer, law professor Alan Young, marijuana activist Marko Ivancicevic. I got that right, I think, on the phone with marijuana activist Marc Emery and Gwen LanDOLT from the Drug Prevention Network of Canada. Before I get to you, Gwen, I want to get to Lori on the phone. Lori, I understand that you are a medical marijuana user.
Yes, I am. And first of all, thank you everybody on the panel and everybody there. I respect everybody's views and opinions, but I do think that it's very important to make something known. I have been a medical marijuana user for a few years now. I have been suffering from seizures for well over about 15 years, and my doctors could never figure out why. The problem is that any medication they prescribed me, I was allergic to it. So I'm allergic to 98% of pharmaceutical medications out there because of the fillers that they put in these items. Now, what I've done recently, or what has happened, is I was diagnosed with pseudo-benign brain tumor. What this is a very rare condition, and my neuro-ophthalmologist, which is the top neuro-ophthalmologist in all of Canada, has educated himself, has flown in experts from the United States, has met with me, and we've all gone through, and he has agreed to put me on marijuana. This gentleman is a huge influence in the medical industry.
And he's advocating that you take the marijuana.
Yes, and what the most important thing is, we are seeing results. These are results that could well be written up very shortly in medical journals because they are, my symptoms have reversed. We've studied this by MRIs. I have a clear medical history, and I'd be very happy to show Edna that and give her grant her permission because
Gwen,
my apologies.
Lori, thank you for this. I gotta go. I want to ask Gwen. You hear these cases over and over again. It has to be beyond anecdotal. There's something there's a disconnect here somewhere. Is there not? Are you still with us, Gwen?
Pardon?
Sorry.
In July 2003, the Canadian Medical Association said that the government has not made the case for the safety of medical use of marijuana.
Well, what about all these stories you're hearing?
Well, we are hearing anecdotal stories, but you have also other drugs that would help these people. For example, one of your callers had multiple sclerosis. There are now excellent prescriptive drugs for multiple sclerosis that do keep it under control.
But when you hear somebody like Lori's story, or Marco's story, people who are on drugs taking other drugs.
I'd like to check the facts, because people say something, I don't believe it, frankly.
All right.
Because the medical authorities say no. And maybe she is one of those 1 in a million exceptions. I don't know. I'd like to know.
Who provided these facts?
But I've never seen that before.
What's that, Mark?
I'm asking her who provided the facts.
Okay,
Pardon?
Where did you get your facts from?
Well, I got them out of the Canadian Medical Journal. I got them from the medical authorities. I could quote all sorts of medical
So right now, the Canadian Medical Association...
But they're published reports.
All right, is that the issue?
They're not anecdotal stories of people who want to smoke pot.
And there are published reports regarding medical marijuana that deals with very many elements.
Why hasn't the Canadian Medical Association, if that's the stumbling block here, why isn't that association, if all is correct, why haven't they come out and said yes?
Because they know that there's no proof. That's the whole problem. There's no proof. They say any doctor who prescribes it does it as a legal and medical care.
Alan?
People stay within their specialty in the narrow universe. Marijuana hasn't been on the medical landscape for a long time. Doctors don't know. I was cross-examining a liver specialist in a case about Hep C and marijuana, and he said the same things to me that Gwen said, and then I took him through certain studies, which I could in a cross-examination, which I won't do on television because it's boring. And after the end of the session, he told me after, he said, that was educational, I'm going to check into this. And he does later on, and he calls me and said, there is something
But shouldn't the Canadian Medical Association by now have, quote, checked into it?
Not
they don't
necessarily.
They don't need you to cross-examine them. They got enough of the evidence to be able to say, wait a minute here. We got the Loris out there, we got the Marcos out there, we got people. We've got Lori's doctor, who she said is the top neuro specialist, who's saying take them. Why is there
thousands
still...
of doctors who have signed these forms, so thousands of doctors believe in it. But remember, how do doctors learn about new medicines. They don't go back to school. They don't do research. Pharmaceutical companies tell them of drugs they develop. Marijuana is not being developed in a commercial stream by a pharmaceutical company. There's no one to tell doctors about it. But there are at least 1,000 doctors in Canada who sign these forms. They're not all quacks or incompetent.
No, we just think that by this time now, with so much evidence, or quote, anecdotal evidence, that the profession would say, would clear it all up so people like Gwen would not have concerns that there's something amiss out there.
When you have 80 years of prohibition and misinformation about insanity, about killing people and homicidal rages, it takes more than a few years to dispel that mythology. People tend to get their information superficially. Outside of my area, I do that too. We all do that. So doctors have yet to really engage with this subject. That's all.
All right, we got to take our final break here on Legal Briefs. Unfortunately, the hour has flown by. We'll try to get to as many calls and questions when we come back. Don't go away.